Goku versus King Piccolo, a battle against a demon that would decide the fate of Earth. Goku versus Vegeta, a battle where Goku trained with an otherworldly deity and obtained his many techniques and could combine the powers of everyone to fight against a blast that was going to vaporize the planet. Goku versus Frieza, a battle against the strongest being in the universe who is going to decide the fate of every living being in it, period. All of those fights and fighters are then combined by a super genius that can make brats stronger than Super Saiyans into a hyper-sophisticated super warrior known as Cell. With the fighting abilities of King Cold, Frieza, Saiyan Saga Goku, Vegeta, and the Demon King Piccolo, as well as enhanced techniques of others such as Tien Shinhan's multiform, Tri-Beam, and so on, Cell was really the best we've pretty much ever seen. Said maybe Vegito and other characters later. Even with his defeat at the hands of Gohan, it was due to Gohan's insane potential and training spiking after working on it the whole series. He is a character who was talked about over 7 years after his defeat, and for good reason. He was basically perfect, literally. In Dragon Ball Superhero, Cell returns, but arguably with an upgrade as an organism known as Cell Max, who is now like a cell made with data spanning all the way to past Ultra Instinct Goku, and even with the old Cell's own data. This Cell Max, even when incomplete, apparently surpasses Goku, Vegeta, and a now potential unleashed Instinct Giga-powered Orange Piccolo, and forces Gohan to unlock a fan-made Gohan Blanco transformation that gives him powers like he was an old fusion character in old Dragon Ball Z against a movie villain. However, Cell Max was actually incomplete in the sense he couldn't use his true full powers consistently. Not only that, but it's hard to deny that this Cell looks like second form Cell, and while Cell Max is not in his second form, I thought it would be not only interesting to talk about what would full power Cell Max actually look like with a lot of new information I've been giving, as well as techniques he could use, but also how strong Cell Max would be hypothetically if he was designed to absorb Gamma 1 and 2, just like the old Cell was, and had his own perfect form. So sit back and enjoy this perfect Dragon Ball analysis. To get into Cell Max, let's first get into what he's like normally first, and then from there we can speculate further increases. As a small recap, Cell Max vs. Gohan Beast is noted in promotional material as the strongest battle we've ever seen in history, period. Or at least every battle before Black Frieza in the manga, as the promotional material and movie came out before that. If the superhero movie includes the anime and the manga, which it definitely is canon to the anime at least, it would include Ultra Instinct Goku vs. Jiren, a battle that surpasses Beerus in the anime in Beerus' own words via guides, Gogeta Blue vs. Broly, Vegito Blue vs. Zamasu, which in the manga is stated in the guides, once again, to rival Beerus in power. And just to clarify, as I've been getting a lot of very low IQ comments about this, the Vegito Blue being Beerus level claim is not based on Shin's statement. It is based on V-Jump literally saying so. I show this scan in every video, but for some reason every Beerus fanboy just ignores it and says Shin is wrong. I don't know, bro. They're crazy for this bald f***ing cat, man. Anyway, strongest battle in history also includes the God of Destruction brawl in anime and manga, Beerus versus Champa, potentially True Ultra Instinct and Ultra Ego versus Gas, Ultra Instinct versus Moro, Angel Mirror, and etc. Cell Max versus Gohan would scale above that. Now you might be saying, Seth, even if this statement is true, and let's take it as such for argument, wasn't Gohan way stronger than Cell? Yes, Gohan was way stronger than Cell, but there are many facts we know about Cell, and I actually recently learned of some guides that would put full power Cell Max above Gohan Beast that you guys will find interesting. Even without the strongest fight in history statement, we know that Orange Piccolo in Toriyama's words is caught up to post-Granola arc True Ultra Instinct Goku in terms of power, and Cell Max turbo bullied him even while nerfed and incompleted. So there's no real contradiction to Cell Max's strength or Gohan Beast for the most part. Of course, though, Cell Max's incompletion in Toriyama's words that didn't let him surpass post-Granola arc Broly was the incompletion of his mind programming. Cell Max is a biological creation just like the original Cell, however, he is comprised of much more data. The original Cell, such as his first form, was based on Saiyan Saga characters and Frieza's DNA amped times a billion, basically. As an example, in his first form, Cell launched a Kamehameha at Piccolo Kami fusion, and Piccolo calls the Kamehameha basically old school. For those that don't know, as the series goes on, Goku and gang actually master their beam attacks with more proficiency and make them stronger. An example, did you know Master Roshi's Kamehameha, called the original Kamehameha, is the strongest variant of it in original Dragon Ball, making it possibly an even higher multiplier than the Super Kamehameha respectively. Obviously, Super Kamehameha versus normal is a great example as well, but my favorite example of beam proficiency is Vegeta's Gallic Gun versus Goku's Kamehameha, and despite Goku and Kaioken times 3 and 4 with this beam not really being nerfed in Daizenshu, as 8,000 times 4 is 32,000, he has the Kamehameha on top of that. It doesn't change that apparently. Vegeta's Gallic Gun could still face a Kamehameha from Goku, who should have a power level 6,000 higher than him. This could be due to the fact that his Gallic Gun is just more advanced. The original Cell had basically this doo-doo Goku Kamehameha, and as he absorbed the androids and got infinite stamina and ki, he evolved the Kamehameha to a level that was relative to the current Z fighters, although who knows how much stronger this actually could have been. This original Cell also had a very keen mind and was constantly bamboozling all of the Z fighters as he grew stronger, and even manipulated Vegeta into allowing him to obtain his perfect form by playing on Vegeta's insecurities and his ego. Cell also has the ability to regenerate, use techniques like Tien's doppelganger with much more proficiency, which I'll get into later, and the Tri-Beam, the Spirit Bomb, Instant Transmission, Destructo Disc, and possibly even the Kaioken. Yet Cell Max doesn't use any of these. Why? If anything, Cell Max should have a way huger arsenal than the original Cell. And if the original Cell could have that many abilities just by copying some very old school, archaic characters, what would Cell Max have after mimicking Moro, Miras, Yardtrap, Vegeta, Ultra Instinct Goku, and so much more? Alongside his extremely cunning mind that seemed far above everyone else, you can see why not having a mind, even power levels aside, is still nerfing Cell Max. Toriyama came out and said that if Cell Max was completed, that even Broly would not be able to face him. Now, of course, this is post-Granola arc Broly, but this statement I may have actually overlooked quite a bit. Broly in Toriyama's vision is a standard of power, something that really displays a pinnacle of strength. And I recently have acquired some scans that I'd love to show you guys that may shed some light on what this trained Broly is actually like, and why Toriyama referenced him despite him being overshadowed by the Granola arc, where Goku and Vegeta were the strongest in the universe before Granola, Gas, and Frieza. This is Dragon Ball Super promotional material, but this one says, in quotes, "The strongest man dives in. History's strongest berserk warrior goes on a rampage in Dragon Ball Super superhero. The super warrior who went on a rampage in the last movie, Broly's appearance is now confirmed. Last time Broly engaged in a life and death battle with Goku and Vegeta. Once he gets heated up, no one can touch him." End quote. And in another here, Broly is called the strongest man. Whether this means strongest mortal or male, period, is up for you guys to decide. Him being the strongest berserk warrior is pretty insane, as well as the statement nobody could touch him when he is going in full stride. Once again, nobody can touch him. Nobody. Also, Whis is a man. As random as that might sound, he is in the movie. And a man. Broly is the strongest man. Now, of course, Whis is not allowed to use his full power against anybody, but if Beerus, Black Frieza, and so on are considered men, then Broly is stronger than them pretty objectively with that weird statement. Also, don't say Frieza is an alien. I don't know if the term man counts, because Broly, too, is a alien. So you might be asking, Seth, how is Broly this giga overpowered to the point he is basically the pinnacle of strength in terms of statements? Well, in the superhero novel, we actually learned a bit about this, and it says, on Beerus's planet, Goku was in the middle of a kumite against Broly. His strength may be second to none, but Broly didn't know how to use it. That's why Goku is training. Not only does this reconfirm he is actually second to none in terms of power, but it also is proof that he has been training. In fact, he has been training for at least 3 weeks. In another guide, Broly is then stated as having the highest latent potential, meaning his potential surpasses even Gohan. Gohan, who went from Buu Saga level to Super Saiyan Blue Termina power level in a couple of hours. Remember, Buu Saga Gohan is weaker than Super Saiyan 3 Goku at the start of the Battle of Gods, as Goku is stated the strongest by Vegeta at the start of Super. Then remember, even a Super Saiyan 3 Vegito Potara fusion couldn't reach the power of Ritual Super Saiyan God. Then Gohan surpasses that by hundreds to possibly thousands of times. In a few hours, he surpasses multiple Vegitos worth of multipliers in hours. And Broly has more potential and trained for 3 weeks. This dude was already strong enough to take 93 combos from Gogeta Blue while he didn't even know how to fight and flailed around like a baby, and now he has God training. This Broly is weaker than Cell Max if Cell Max had a brain. Not only is Cell Max, if he was completely stronger than this god-training Giga Broly, but Cell Max has moves. A lot of moves. The main power of Cell that people don't realize is one of his strongest unique abilities is doppelgangers. Yeah, like some Naruto shadow clone shit. Cell, for one, has Tien's multiform technique, in which in the anime, however, due to having an infinite ki regenerator, all of Cell's clones are equal to him in power, whereas the originals, say Tien's, were not. Even crazier, Cell can spit out multiple Cell Juniors, which are also called little doppelgangers of him. And yeah, in Daizenshu, every Cell Junior is equal to Cell in power. Not joking, by the way, that's actually stated. All of them. Now, you could say this is due to the fact Cell hadn't fully learned to use his full power until he fought Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, which is sort of implied in the anime, especially as he learns more about his strength even versus Goku. But yeah, every Cell Jr. was equal to the Cell that fought Super Saiyan 1 Gohan, bare minimum. If Cell Max is stronger than Broly and has the same abilities, which there's no reason he shouldn't, he should be able to basically out a bunch of Cell Juniors that could all bully him by themselves. Multiple above Broly level giant red Cell Juniors. Imagine as well if Cell picked up fusion from watching Gogeta versus Broly with Hito's drones, like he did with every other technique the original did in original Dragon Ball Z. And yeah, Cell Max is probably dummy nerfed for a reason. Yeah, but there's one last question to go over. What if this was just second form Cell Max or first form, and he could hypothetically, say, absorb the gammas? How much stronger could he get? The difference between the cell forms is pretty subjective, as we are never given a concrete number ever. And even with Perfect Cell, it seems he continues to evolve as time goes on, even when he actually is in the show. But we know that the difference between first and perfect is beyond insane for a few factors. The first factor to consider is that Piccolo was weaker than Imperfect Cell after he absorbed a bunch of humans, and when Piccolo was fighting Android 17, even after he fused with the God of Earth Kami. But did you know that Piccolo, with hyperbolic time chamber training before the Cell games, he went into the time chamber, and the 7-year time skip to the Buu Saga is actually still weaker than Cell games Goku? I'm not joking. This is due to the fact that the Supreme Kai is as strong as Cell Games Goku in El Manga Legendario, and in Daizenshu, it is confirmed Shin, the Supreme Kai, is actually stronger than Piccolo in the Buu Saga. And while Piccolo probably gave up in the tournament versus Shin due to his rank as Supreme Kai, the Daizenshu is further confirming that Shin was actually stronger than him anyway. This is probably why Shin was, say, able to take a bop from Majin Buu, who was damaging Super Saiyan or Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, and Dabura, who was Cell level, give or take, and paralyze Super Saiyan 2 Gohan with his telekinesis. This means that Perfect Cell, who is a bit stronger than Mastered Super Saiyan Goku from the Cell games, at least before his super perfect form, is stronger than Kami Fusion Piccolo training for almost 8 years straight. That's how huge the multiplier of Perfect is. And Mastered Super Saiyan as well. And in terms of more objective numbers, Perfect is at least over 2 times stronger than Semi-Perfect Cell, due to the fact that half-powered Mastered Super Saiyan Goku pretty much made everyone shook. And in the Cell games, once again, at half power, and Cell at half power, they're impressing literally everyone, which second form Cell would not be able to do. But like I said, that 7-year Piccolo number, you can actually stretch that pretty far. Remember that in the 3 years training to the androids, Piccolo went from second form Frieza to arguably stronger than Future Trunks as a Super Saiyan when he fought Mecha Frieza. Second form Frieza has a power level of around 1 million, and Future Trunks is easily over 150 million, like Namek Saga Goku, as Gohan actually thought Future Trunks, when he was somewhat suppressed versus Yardrat Goku, was that powerful. Meaning Piccolo might have grown hundreds of times stronger in 3 years. Yet now he's trained for 7. And yeah, Piccolo always trains. This was confirmed by Toriyama in an interview I'll show on screen here. And a good way to maybe calculate it with a bit of headcanon, but if you believe that, say, Goten and Trunks in base form, alongside Android 18, are weaker than Semi-Perfect Cell at the start of the Buu Saga with Super Saiyan, they reach the level of Mastered Super Saiyan Gohan, who is still weaker than Perfect Cell. So implying that even Semi-Cell to Perfect is probably over 50 times if you're pretty generous, let alone first to Perfect, which should be hundreds of times greater. So a perfect Cell Max that has Cell Max Juniors that all can one-shot Broly and possibly fuse with each other. Yeah, Goku is probably pressing the Zeno button. Even Ultra Instinct Gogeta will probably get steamrolled, especially if the Cell Juniors can fuse, and Hito probably even made Cell Max with that in mind to begin with, let alone this super hypothetical perfect version. Anyways guys, I hope you did enjoy the video. I had a lot of fun actually making it. I hope you learned a few things about Cell. I think my favorite fact about Cell is literally just he can make clones of himself at no detriment to his power. I always thought that was really interesting, as well as the fact he can use like the Spirit Bomb, maybe the Kaioken, and all kinds of weird abilities. So I gotta say though that it's a huge wasted opportunity for perfect Cell Max to fight Gohan Beast. That would have blew up the internet. Anyways, till next time.